Hello, 8th graders. This is Mr. Mercer. I'm the assistant principal at St. Genevieve High School, and I am also the A-Plus coordinator. And I'd like to take some time to talk to you today about success in high school, and also I want to spend a good amount of time talking to you about the A-Plus program. When you come up to high school, there are some things that you need to remember, okay? One is independence. That's got to be one of the biggest things that we focus on in high school, independence. And that means that you're going to have to find ways to stay organized. You're going to have to find ways to keep deadlines. You're going to have to find ways to communicate with your teachers and start stepping up and advocating for yourselves. I'm sure that your middle school counselors would be glad to hear me saying the word advocate, but that's really what it's about. You're starting to reach adulthood. It's time to start growing up and taking responsibility for yourselves and advocating for yourself, okay? Take those steps towards independence. And I think you'll find that if you are able to accomplish that, that will unlock a lot of the other things that you need in order to be successful in high school. For now, independence is one of the big ones. Second one I would say is diversity. You know, when you get up to high school, you need to think about different ways that you can be involved and different ways that you can express yourself. It's wonderful to be a good academic student, of course. It's also wonderful to be a good, strong, competitive athlete. It's good to be a great artist. It's good to be a great singer. But when you can find ways to combine those things, that's when you really start unlocking some doors to success. So diversity, think about different ways that you can be involved, different ways that you can express yourself. And I think you'll find doors opening for you when you get to high school. So my advice, independence and diversity, those are two of the biggest things. As I said a few moments ago when I started, I want to talk to you primarily today about the A-Plus program. A-Plus is a government-funded program that was started somewhere around 15 years ago that allows the state of Missouri to send students who graduate with certain requirements, and we'll talk about those requirements. It sends those students to two-year junior colleges, community college, and even some technical schools in the state of Missouri, tuition-free. And that sounds like a great deal, but as I said, there are some requirements, and they're listed here on the screen for you, and we'll go over those one at a time. First of all, a student needs to have a 6.875 GPA at the time of graduation. If you need to put that in different terms, basically that is just a C+ average. That is a 4-year average, by the way. So let's say you decide you want to join A+. Maybe freshman year doesn't go the way you thought it would. If you don't have that 6.875, it doesn't mean you're out of the program. It just means you need to work harder in the remaining years so that you have the 6.875 by May of your senior year. It's a 4-year average. Another requirement is a 95% attendance rate, and that is also a 4-year average. If you need to break that down into more tangible numbers, think of it this way. You can miss 32 days of school from the time you start high school till May of your graduating year. That's about 8 days a year, and that is not the high school attendance policy. That's A+ policy. High school attendance policy says you can miss 8 days in a semester, and then after that you have to have medical excuses. A+, however, doesn't care. They consider absent as absent. It doesn't matter why, and you should only miss about 8 of those per year on average in order to maintain that 95% attendance rate. Students also must complete 50 tutoring hours. Included that in there also is some mentoring opportunities, some apprenticeship and internship opportunities, but most of our students earn most of their hours through tutoring, and we'll talk about different ways that can be accomplished. Students also need to score proficient or advanced on their Algebra 1 EOC. EOC is the high school equivalent of what you would call a MAP test. They take those late April, early May, and it's their end of course exam. That's where the EOC comes from, like a MAP test. And our students have to score proficient or advanced if they want to earn the A+ money. And then finally, our students have to maintain good citizenship. And that is not just in school, it's out of school as well. In school, we realize that little things happen, tardies, name badges, things like that. That's not a huge deal, but students who get in serious trouble for things like weapons, drugs, fights, you know, those more serious infractions, or students who are in trouble frequently, even if it's little infractions, if you're in trouble frequently, then you run the risk of blowing your citizenship. Also, as I said, that's out of school as well. So you certainly don't want to get mixed up with the police, with the juvenile office, anything like that, because even if it's not school related, you could ruin your citizenship. Okay, so the biggest section there is on your tutoring hours. You have to earn 50 hours, and there are different ways that you can do that. You can go help out in Dragon's Den after school in the elementaries. If you're not assigned to tutoring yourself, you could go help out in Dragon Day on Wednesday mornings. We also offer some opportunities during summer school, cadet teaching, and we'll talk a little bit more about that. And then there are other things like summer drama camp, being a high school mentor, A+ internships where we send you out into the community to learn about different jobs. So there are lots of different ways to do that. One that I want to focus on, especially for this group, is cadet teaching. Cadet teaching is a normal part of a student's day, where we take a student out for an hour or sometimes even 2 hours when they're juniors or seniors, and we assign them to an elementary classroom or a middle school classroom, and every once in a while we'll send one to a high school classroom where they work like you might expect a teacher's aide to work. They help the teacher with lessons. They go around and check on the students to make sure to help them if they need help with anything. They can do things like decorating bulletin boards, preparing lesson plans, running errands, doing odd jobs, making copies, all kinds of things. As I said, just like a teacher's aide would. Only instead of a paycheck, these students earn tutoring hours towards their A+. We look for bright, ambitious, industrious students to do this in their junior or senior year, or both in some cases, and it's a good way for students to earn a lot of A+ hours within the regular school day. In other words, they haven't had to give up any morning time, they haven't had to give up any afternoon time, any summertime, any Saturday time. It's just a regular part of their schedule. In addition to those expectations, we also ask those students to do specific assignments that help prepare them for the career of teaching. And their performance in the classroom, their performance on those assignments, the evaluations we get from those teachers, we combine all of those together to come up with grades for these students, because cadet teaching is an actual class. There is a grade for it, you can earn credit for it, and then on top of that, if you've done well, you can earn a lot of A+ hours for it too. So that is a good option for our students, particularly those who don't have a lot of time to invest outside of the regular school day, and is an option for juniors or seniors. So in the last 7 minutes, we've taken some time to kind of give you the overview. This is kind of the quick version, the nutshell version. If you are interested, I would encourage you to come to the A+ beginning meetings that we'll have when you guys are freshmen. Get some more information. Some of this will be repeated. You know, you'll hear some of this again, but there's also a lot more in-depth information that we'll go into. And in the meantime, feel free to shoot me an email. I'll be happy to answer any questions that you may have for now. So, until I hear from you, have a great day, and let me know if I can be of any service to you.